Blessed are those who weep, for their tears shall be wiped away. In the freshness of this day, we offer thanks, O God, for this day's gifts and the gifts of this one who resides ever, always in our hearts, whose life we celebrate, whose memories we enjoy. Let our souls breathe hope for one another and for this dear one. And may this time that we spend together be one of peace, of celebration, of sorrow and joy, pleasure and pain, all that is life. May life be our guide this day. Amen. You may be seated. I would like to welcome you to the United Church of Christ of Webster. This was the church where Fran belonged. My name is David Gregory, and I am the interim minister here. So I am a relative newcomer. I am aware and happy to report that my predecessor, the Reverend Carl Richter, who was here for many years, was a friend and confidant of Fran's, and he has retired and moved to Florida. God bless him. And so I contacted him the other day and asked if he would like to compose something, since he knew her well, if he would like to compose a message for me to share in his stead. And I'm going to offer that at the outset today. And just as I begin to read it, I would like to say that because he is retired, he can use different language now. Okay. I just wanted that to be understood. And I'm not retired. Okay, so this is from our friend Carl. Christmas Eve 2012 is a date that will go down in infamy in Webster, New York. It was that day that we, as a community, lost two of our finest first responders to a horrific act of sheer evil. Many Webster firefighters found refuge and comfort in the 11 p.m. Christmas Eve service at Webster United Church of Christ. The following Sunday, we had a visitor to our worship. A woman with a Christmas bow in her hair and sporting a Marge's Lakeside Inn jacket. And while several of our church family knew her well, it was my first time meeting Fran Beth. And when I welcomed her to worship, she responded by saying, "I heard a lot of Webster firemen were here to worship on Christmas Eve, and your church made them feel so good after going through hell. I figured if they spoke so highly of this place, I ought to check it out." And she worshiped here Sunday after Sunday from then on. A few weeks after that first meeting, Fran called and invited me out to lunch. She wanted to learn more about the church and how she could join us. We went to a diner for sandwiches and sodas and had a wonderful conversation. We laughed a lot. We talked about faith. We talked about family and Webster. And then she told me her own harrowing tale of survival on that Christmas Eve, just a few houses down from where the atrocities had taken place, and how she hunkered down and waited to be rescued. We both had tears in our eyes. And when her cell phone rang, she reached into her cleavage. That's right. She reached into her cleavage to get her phone. She said, "I hope that doesn't embarrass you, but it's the only place I can put it and know it'll stay put." Fran was a character. I loved our chats on Sunday morning as she left church. I loved her larger-than-life Easter hats with all the flowers. I loved how she folded her offering into paper objects every Sunday, just to, quote, "let the treasurer know I was here today." I loved how every April and October we had to pray for the opening or closing of that damn bridge. Which for half of every year made her ride to work so much further. I remember a few times going to stand and hold a sign for the official opening or closing, freezing my fanny off. One time I even dragged along our associate conference minister, Ryan Henderson. On my first visit to Marge's, it was a Christmas Eve, when my wife Marty had to be with her very ill mother in Florida. And Fran greeted me at the door with the warmth and the celebration as if I was Mary and Joseph arriving at the inn. I remember it was very cold that year, and she introduced me to rocket fuel. And these are the words of Carl, and oh my God, it was good. And I caught myself slurring a word or two as I led the 11 p.m. Christmas Eve service. In my heart, I was smiling and thinking, damn it, Fran, what's in that stuff? And from that night on, Fran always made sure I had some rocket fuel for the holidays. Whenever Marty and I dropped by the tavern for a drink or to hear the band, Fran treated us like royalty. "Have you met my minister?" she would say, as she walked us around to meet all the regulars. I told her she ran the friendliest tavern I'd ever been in, and she told me that I was the minister of the friendliest church she had ever been in. I can't imagine the number of people who are grieving the loss of Fran Beth. She touched so many lives, and she knew so many people. Someone once told me, Fran is just like Jesus. She loves everybody. And while I am so sad to know that Fran has left this world, I know in the depths of my heart, that she has gone on to her reward, reunited with her beloved Ron and boating around in the fastest craft that heaven has to offer. And there was no doubt in my mind that Fran and Jesus are having some pretty good conversations about welcoming and loving and accepting all of God's children. And I wouldn't be surprised if they haven't shared a bit of rocket fuel. Francine, Marty, and the pups, I send you our love and deepest condolences. We toasted Fran yesterday at the Tiki Bar here in our community in Fort Myers. I will continue to tell and retell those Fran stories that will keep her memory alive in our hearts. And may those memories bring you blessings in the days ahead. Oh, and I could use a little more rocket fuel for these chilly nights in Florida. Grace and peace to you all, Pastor Carl. Yes. We have some further readings, and so at this time, we'll hear from Lisa.
How lucky are we? Friends make life worth living. Friends come in all different packages. They are one of life's greatest gifts from God. Quoting from a book of Sirach, faithful friends are a sturdy shelter. Whoever finds one has found a treasure. Faithful friends are beyond price. No amount can balance their worth. Faithful friends are life-saving medicine, and those that love the Lord will be blessed with them. True friendship unites souls, here on earth and beyond. Franny Beth, you were a faithful friend. Lucky are we.
Good morning. Good afternoon. A reading from Ecclesiastes. Everything has its own time, and there is a specific time for every activity under heaven. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to pull out what was planted. A time to kill and a time to heal. A time to tear down and a time to build up. A time to cry and a time to laugh. A time to mourn and a time to dance. A time to scatter stones and a time to gather them. A time to hug and a time to stop hugging. A time to start looking and a time to stop looking. A time to keep and a time to throw away. A time to tear apart and a time to sew together. A time to keep quiet and a time to speak out. A time to love, and that we did. And a time to hate, and a time for war and a time for peace. Always loved, always dynamic, always in our hearts forever. We love you.
May the angels protect you, and trouble neglect you, and heaven accept you when it's time to go home. May you always have plenty, your heart never empty, and oh, in your belly, you're never alone. May your tears come from laughing, you find friends worth having, and with every year passing, they mean more than gold. May you win but stay humble, smile more than grumble, and know when you stumble, you're never alone. Never alone, never alone. I'll be in every beat of your heart when you face the unknown. Wherever you fly, this isn't goodbye. My love will follow you, stay with you, baby, you're never alone. Well, I have to be honest, as much as I wanted, I never could promise that cold winds won't blow. So when hard times have found you, your fear surrounds you, wrap my love around you, you're never alone. Never alone, never alone. I'll be in every beat of your heart when you face the unknown. Wherever you fly, this isn't goodbye. My love will follow you, stay with you, baby, you're never alone. May the angels protect you, and trouble neglect you, and heaven expect you when it's time to go home. When hard times have found you, and your fears surround you, wrap my love around you, you're never alone. Never alone, never alone. I'll be in every beat of your heart when you face the unknown. Wherever you fly, this isn't goodbye. My love will follow you, stay with you, baby, you're never alone. My love will follow you, stay with you, baby, you're never alone.
Gonna fix that for me. Okay. On Christmas Day, 81 years ago, Fran entered this world and cried out, "Hello." The second child born to the Andersons, Brother George showed her off to everyone. Arundequite was her place of birth. Seneca Road, her childhood turf. Loyal and proud of the red, white, and blue, love for her country would always shine through. Fran went to a tavern, just hanging out. 2 guys and 2 girls drinking ale and stout. The guys flipped a coin to pick out their date. Ron was a winner. Fran was his fate. Love blossomed and flourished and smiled upon the man of Fran's dream, whose name was Ron. Marriage took place, and then soon after, Francine was born, bringing joy, love, and laughter. Fran worked at Kodak while Ron took care, working at Marge's, a family affair. Owned by his mother and named after her, hot spot for boaters, we all would concur. Retiring from Kodak when Ron passed away, Fran managed the bar by night and day. She held special parties out in the sun, inviting in patrons for memories and fun. Her Kate Smith rendition was really a treat. God Bless America, so loud and upbeat. Her favorite show, What Else But Love Boat, and movies of Elvis would give you her vote. After 9/11, her feelings were strong. Fran took a huge flag, more than 30 feet long, and placed it across the Bay Bridge span to honor our heroes as much as we can. July 4th parade, Fran had all the luck to ride up front on Seabreeze's fire truck. She sat there dressed in her red, white, and blue, patriotic and proud, always so true. Awards for marriages came with her fame. Best jukebox in Rochester was something she claimed. Hots and chats at least 2 times a year. So many people and even more beer. Fran's pet peeves were few, or so we are told, but rocking the boat would be ever so bold. And don't touch the disco ball over the bar. If you mentioned bridge closings, you won't get far. But if perhaps you couldn't find Fran, she'd be in Aruba, just getting a tan, or else in Florida, chair by the sea, enjoying her leisure, relaxed as could be. We know she liked things to be unique. She'd have a drambuie, then take off her sneaks. So let's make a toast, hot shots in our hand, to Fran who loved living right by the sand. We miss you, dear Fran, more than words can say, recalling the life that you lived day by day. As you look down on us in your red, white, and blue, we're looking up, sending our love back to you. Whether on your jet ski or behind the bar, may happiness follow wherever you are. God bless you, Fran. That's it. I loved her. She was so. We had a lot in common. It's 2 of us, your mother and I, yeah. Okay, good luck. Okay. Ooh.
You'll find the words to this congregational song in your program. Let's all stand together.
You who dwell in the shelter
you in the palm of his hand. You may be seated.
On behalf of Francine, Marty, and Franny's extended family, I want to say thank you all for being here and for the beautiful show of love and support, especially over this past week. As someone who does a fair amount of writing for work, I can't help but look out at all of you today and think, oh, the stories we could tell. And if I had to bet, most, if not all of you, would be able to tell me easily at least 3 stories about Franny. One where she was the fierce watchdog fighting for a bridge or hollering at someone for rocking the boat. One where she was a living rainbow singing God Bless America or, and forgive me, but VACATION, bum, 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 on vacation. Thank you. And one where she is the kind and generous friend, telling her own stories and showing her love in the best way she knew how. In March of 2019, I spent about 3 weeks going to Marge's every day, it was the off season, to sit on the bathroom floor and paint a mural on the wall. And I really need to clarify that this was an artistic endeavor because honestly, I had long since abandoned my habit of sleeping on bathroom floors. So this was, and mostly they were some quiet evenings and sometimes a little lonely. So I was really happy on the nights when Franny would stop in with a cup of coffee to check out how I was doing. She would pull up a chair amongst the paint cans and drop cloths and chat long enough for her to warm up and finish her little styrofoam cup of decaf. On one evening, Franny came in and she was a little more excited than usual. She had brought me a gift. And that could mean literally anything. But in addition to our coffees that evening, she had procured a delicious rum cake. Do you like rum cake? She said. Well, I like rum and I like cake, so I think the chances are good, and it sounded pretty great. So she grabbed a napkin and she handed me a large piece, and together we sat, happy as can be, chomping on our treat. And with a mouthful of rum cake and crumbs stuck to my face, I said, Mom, I called her Mom, this is really good. Where did you get this? And without skipping a beat, she looked at me and said, oh, I bought it off a guy in the parking lot of Walmart's. You can hear it. You can hear it. And that was Franny. And it was the best of her characters, her watch over the bar, her unique sense of fun, her sweet, generous friendship, all wrapped up in one magical moment that we shared. To try to sum up a life like Franny's in a few moments is impossible, and I'm not even going to try. Especially because now this life lives in our collective memories and our stories. And those are yours to tell. But today, I will reflect on the times when I saw her warmth, her kindness, her generosity, and her friendship, because through it all, this was her truest self. This is how I will choose to remember Fran, Mom, and I hope you do too. Francie.
I'm just going to take a second to see all of you. I'm pretty sure I can do this because Chelsea put a little Post-it note that said, I got this. So I'm sure I got it. I just can't see so good with the tears in my eyes. So as I was looking around the tavern the other night, I realized that to me, Marge's is and always will be a reflection of my father. But as I look out at all of you today, and I think about all the people that lined up to pay their respects yesterday, and the countless connections she made throughout the community, and the thousands of messages, calls, texts, posts that have poured in over the past week, I realized that this is a reflection of my mom. I don't think there was one day that my mom didn't create a memory or give someone a story to tell. But I need people to remember that behind all those memories and behind all the stories is a mom, my mom. And to me, she was everything. When the world saw a woman running a family-owned bar, I saw a woman that did everything she could to keep a family together. When people heard her yell out to enforce the rules, I heard her doing everything she could to protect her lifeline. When people saw her flamboyant, colorful expressions, I saw the women behind the flashy doodahs who just wanted to be seen and heard and loved. There are many ways that you may remember Fran Beth. I am proud to know that I am the one who will remember her as mom. To say that our life was unconventional would be the biggest understatement in the world. Imagine waking up in the middle of the night to your husband building a deck on the roof so people could come have a drink on the house. Looking back, a lot of mom's life was like showing up to a party that she didn't know she was throwing until after she got there. But through all those times, she couldn't have predicted or imagined the one thing she could always do was take care of me. As I grew older, I knew that no matter what kind of crazy life handed us or how crazy we would get, we would do the best in the craziness together. And we did, for better, for worse, for each other. Among all the memories and stories, most never knew the Franny that held me when I was sad or calmed me when I was scared. Many never saw the Franny that let me curl up in her lap when I was sick, even up to like 6 months ago, or lit up a room when we laughed together. And you know what? That's okay, because I saw her and she saw me, and we loved each other the best we knew how. It was me and my mom against the world, and we were each other's everything. And I really thank you all for being here and being part of our life. Thank you.
Let's take a few silent moments, just in reflection of all that we have seen and heard, all that we are holding in our hearts and minds, all of the beauty and the joy and the sadness of this day. Let us just take a moment. Beloved one, our hearts are filled with gratitude, and we offer ourselves and our hearts, our love, our joy, and our sadness in an offering to the memory of this wonderful life. We invite the presence of peace we invite the balm of healing. And as we move forward from this place, may we carry with us all that we have received, not only this day, but for all the many days of our journey with Fran. And so now we invite a peace that passes all human understanding. And may that peace guide us and guard us and keep us on our way. May the comfort of memories inhabit that peaceful place. And may we rejoice ever and always in thankfulness for this great gift. Amen.
Tell me again, Mommy.
You and me against the world. Sometimes it feels like you and me against the world. When all the others turn their backs and walk away, you can count on me to stay. Remember when the circus came to town and you were frightened by the clown? Wasn't it nice to be around someone that you knew, someone who was big and strong and looking out for you and me against the world? Sometimes it feels like you and me against the world. And for all the times we've cried, I always felt that God was on our side. And when one of us is gone and one of us is left to carry on, then remembering will have to do. Our memories alone will get us through. Think about the days of me and you and me against the world. You and me against the world.